So, green room, and we have Duncan as usual, Barry, and Andy. How are you guys doing?
Good. How are you?
Good. I am well. I am hyped off my coffee here, so I'm a little energy.
Oh, nice.
We know what happens when you have too much coffee, Happy.
Yeah. I get
is it a special type
really
of coffee?
No.
Is it instant coffee?
It is instant coffee. Yes.
So
it go really, yeah. You understand? Yeah.
Yeah. What were you thinking?
What were I thinking? It goes quicker.
That's true. That is true. Yeah.
I really like
cheaper.
to take. Yeah, it is actually. And is this COVID situation? It's smart to go cheap in a way.
Yes.
Yeah.
True.
Save your money.
You're saying all the right things here, Happy. You're saying all the right things.
So, how your week's been going, Andy?
It's been not doing too bad, yeah. Quick. They seem to be going quicker now. I don't know what it is, what's going on, but life generally seems to be going quicker and quicker.
Yeah.
And I've not really had enough time to play games, which is quite annoying. Yeah. But I'm sure we'll get into what games we're going to be playing in a second, or do we want to know now?
We can, if you want to talk about now, you can do.
Ooh, okay, I have been playing. Now, I haven't played this game in, years. Since, the 96 release of it. Mm. And it's NHL 21.
Nice.
It's awesome!
Nice. Yeah.
So I haven't played it since then, and the biggest bit of that game to me was it was one of the first sports games that allowed you to fight in a match.
I gotta say this: the NHL 20 is better, and there's one reason why it's better. And Barry knows what the reason is, I'm assuming, or he doesn't.
I think I do, if I remember correctly.
The Belfast Giants are in it. And I am not moving up to the NHL 21 because you can't beat the Giants because they didn't get in the Champions League, because that's how the Giants have got into the game. And yes, the full roster has been properly updated, so I'm just going about beating the Cardiff Devils and slamming into them.
Disgusting. I don't know what to say to that, apart from the fact that this game has got a lot more complex. There's a lot more to it than just mashing your buttons than what it used to be like. You know, you just used to rely on A, B, Y, and X. Or in my PlayStation days, triangle, X, and the others, circle, square. You just used to press them. That was it. You've got to control your stick with the...
Have you worked out how to hit people when you go and do big massive hits into people? That is the best. That is brilliant, isn't it? And that's
great.
All I do.
But it's just there's a lot more to it. There's the controls. They've really gone into depth of the controls of, every little touch that you make can have an effect on how the player works. It's great. I love it. I'm really obsessed. I've only played the training because I still haven't grasped the full concept of all of it yet. But I'm waiting to get into a match. I'm going to be really good by the time I finish the training. And that's all I've been playing.
I would recommend just doing the beginning training, just get into matches and just go about hitting people. The best thing is you just go in there and you're just going for the big, you do the big hits. It is brilliant, and I haven't murdered half the Cardiff Devils team. With that, it's just going in bang, 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 and bang. Oh,
game over.
You get a timeout, don't you, if you injure someone too much? You get put in the square, don't you, or the cube?
What I can say is I have actually completely and utterly cleaned people from the games and I hit them and they are taken out, they limp off and they go down to get changed and because they're hurt that much.
No, that's entertaining.
I get the feeling you should just be playing boxing games.
Yeah.
Oh, this isn't punching. This is just the proper tackles in ice hockey where you just skate up and you just go clean them.
I just mean for the aggression that you obviously have with inside you.
That's just against the Devils. That's just against the Devils. We don't like them. They're nearly as bad as the Blaze.
Hey, leave the Blaze alone.
Well, I think I heard something about the real hockey. There is really high insurance on them, so they get really often hurt a lot. So it's not the sport for me, I guess. Have you played anything else, Andy?
That is what else have I played? I played a bit of Grand Theft Auto, which is a little bit different than the old Grand Theft Auto that I'm used to.
It is.
There's a lot more to it, and I don't feel as I've given it enough time yet. But that's what I want to get into that as well. But I only gave like NHL. I just give it. I thought I'll give it half an hour. I'll just play it for a little bit and get into a match, and it'd be like FIFA where you score 5 goals and then you give up because it's too easy. And you don't want to play online because you're going to get beat by a 5-year-old. So I thought I'll just play it once because I don't think I would have bought it otherwise. Again, which is the great advantage of Game Pass, isn't it? Is the fact that you get to try all these games that you not necessarily would have bought, but they're actually good games. Anyway.
It is actually a good buffet in a way.
Yeah.
Duncan, have you been playing some games this week?
I always play games.
Maybe just
nothing. I just play games with everybody. Yes, I have been playing games. I will speak for Kelly here as well. Hi, Kelly. Yeah, I've been playing a tiny bit of Fortnite. Kelly will probably be in the chat here saying that I haven't been playing at all, but I have been playing a little bit. She has got her COVID jab, so she is a bit under the weather. So again, Kelly hasn't had a good run of things at the moment, so hopefully after this is all going to be better. But I've been Sea of Thieves again, absolutely brilliant, and is a load of fun just going about and getting murdered and taking over people's ships and then getting murdered. We had an awful experience this week. When I say awful, we're talking completely and utterly awful. We were getting we had our ship completely filled. We were just going after that one more chest sort of thing before we were wrapping it up at night. We discovered there's volcanoes in Sea of Thieves. We didn't know there was volcanoes and these huge things. Can you see where this is going?
Yeah, I see what this is going.
The ship was completely full. We literally had about 15 chests and about 10 green skulls to hand in, and it is completely and utterly full. So we said, we'll go over here and pick this up here. This is the last one. It should be easy enough. It was just go to this place. It was one of the messages in the bottle. And we decided let's just dander over here and get that. What happened was we didn't realize it was a volcano, and we came back and go, "Where's our boat? Why is all our stuff in the sea here? There's no ships around it." And then we realized when we went back, when we got a new thing, oh, that's a volcano and it's spewing lava everywhere. And all our stuff was gone, and it was like,
oh man.
No, that is us for tonight. So we've learned that lesson.
I'm gonna have to give this a go. It sounds like too much fun not to play.
It is fun. It is not so fun when you jump off your ship and forgot to anchor up and the boat sails away. That is not so fun. So I was like, oh no.
The only time I played it, the boat started to set on fire and it started to sink, and I jumped overboard, and then a mermaid saved me.
Yeah,
but then put me back on the burning ship.
Yes,
and I was like, I've just jumped off that to not die. Like, why are you putting me back on the ship that's a light? You're not nice.
How have you been doing, Barry?
Yes, good. Very busy week with work, unfortunately, but I'm good. Game wise, I've played a little bit of F1 over the weekend because obviously, we did a full distance race and qualifying at the weekend, which was great fun. So I played a bit of that. Then what else did I play? I'm just trying to think now. What else did I play? I did try a little bit of GTA 5, and it's been ages since I've played. And you know what? I really struggled to get back into it. It felt slow. It felt clunky. And I was just like, oh, God, I've forgotten what it's like to to play GTA. So I think, like Andy, I mean, obviously, I think Andy hasn't played one for a while, whereas obviously I've played through 5. I just feel like I just need some more time with it just to kind of get to grips with the mechanics and how it feels and how it plays again before I can probably kind of start to kind of get that love for it back and kind of enjoy it. And then other than that, I played a little bit of PES. I've been enjoying PES, not against Duncan this time, although the rematch is on the cards. That's coming at some point, definitely. And then other than that, I've just tried 1 or 2 titles out in the cloud.
Yeah, we're gonna come back to you with the clouds.
Yes.
It's so unfair.
So yeah, I'm gonna say I've been playing. What have I been playing? I've been playing a lot of these. I have been really enjoying this touch screen with the xCloud on the tablet. Just laying the sofa, just playing random games. There's so many cool games to play. One I've been playing, I don't remember the name now. Why don't I remember? There's a mini golf game. I've been playing that a lot over and over.
Friends.
Yeah, I think it is. Just been
that's really good.
Yeah, it is. It's really fun. It is actually really fun. That I've been playing a lot. And I've been playing a little bit Minecraft Dungeon on the touch screen. And I've been playing Sea of Thieves, of course. And what else have I played? A little Halo. I'm still back on Halo 3. I'm going through all of them with the PC version right now with mouse and keyboard. Such a great game to play with mouse and keyboard. Amazing. Really enjoying that. So, do we want to talk about you, Barry, now, or do you want to wait?
We can go whatever order you want to go in.
Yeah.
You're running the show, so it's up to you.
Are you putting some footage on, or are we leaving that?
The footage. Well, the footage will come onto YouTube at some point because that is work in progress. I was just going to do a very brief whiz around xCloud in a PC browser.
Yeah.
That's what it was meaning. I wasn't talking about our secret project.
Oh, right. I thought you were talking about the secret thing that we've been talking about. No. I was going to share my screen and we can do that now if you want. Happy?
Yeah, go for it. And you will listen on the podcast on audio.
Here's the thing. We're going to have to. Can I say what the project is?
Go.
Go on, then. Well, Barry is going to show you in the next couple of days how to get 1,000 gamer score on xCloud within 15 minutes.
Ooh.
From yeah.
Oh, okay. This is interesting.
From one game.
Oh my goodness, yes.
So that is our secret project, which we are going to hopefully get out in the next couple of days. I would try and do it, but I don't have access yet.
Yes.
So if you heard this on audio, you can go and check this YouTube video out after if you want to do that. And Barry, just show us.
What? No! Well, no! Oh, that's okay.
Oh dear. Okay, so obviously, as I think the vast amounts of the population are now aware, xCloud is kind of rolling out in a limited beta for PC. and also for Apple phones as well. So I've jumped in. You literally go to xbox.com/play. And then obviously, if you've had the invite email, you literally sign in with your Xbox details. And this is the screen that you'll be presented with. So obviously, a relatively familiar kind of screen in that sense, which when you have got your controller paired, you can obviously navigate the screen with your controller in its entirety. And to be honest, it's, as I say, it's really familiar in the sense of it's something that you kind of feel at home at navigating, nice and simple to kind of get around the UI. It is also really quick and responsive to kind of be able to flick between the games. There's literally, it's dead easy to do. And obviously you can do it keyboard and mouse if you want, or you can do it with the Xbox controller, as I say.
Can I just say something here? I'm going to take the temptation away from Andy, because is that the search bar in the top right hand corner?
I was just about to go there. Obviously, yeah, you've got your usual kind of manage your account, all that sort of stuff, accessibility settings down the side, and then obviously you've got the search bar. So if you know exactly what it is that you want to play, so let's say you wanted to play, we'll go with Kelly's favorite game, we'll go with Halo, bash in Halo, and as you can see there, the search is ridiculously quick.
I'm going to just mention something here before you get back to your amazing demonstration. If you want to see the comparison between all the different cloud platforms, Cloud Gaming Extreme has just put that up there, and it is completely fair. It is down the middle. It shows you the positives and the negatives. I would check that out. There we go.
Yes, indeed. And then obviously, of course, you've got your Xbox button up in the corner, and then obviously, if you're familiar with playing on Android, where when you're in the game, where you've got the kind of the three dots on the top left of the screen, when you then sort of start to dive into the game, those options are all there. And also, if you press it on the Xbox button on the control, it brings up the DVR, the game bar, so you can kind of run through that. What I will do, I will literally just fire a game up. Is there any particular game that anybody wants me to fire up?
MotoGP 20.
Oh, don't be picking that. I'm terrible at that.
It's just a shame it's not 21, isn't it?
Well, it is indeed. I mean, that's out tomorrow, so maybe
today.
I don't know. Today? Oh, I thought it was tomorrow. I don't know why.
No, it's
So as you can see, I've kind of just been jumping through a few titles. So I tried MLB The Show, Outriders, tried a little bit of Pairs, Dirt 5. I'll load Dirt 5 actually, just so you
I
can
was
see.
thinking that's
in terms of obviously it loading up, the familiar loading screen that we're all used to. Now, the one thing I will say I have noticed is I do feel like the load time on the game is a little bit quicker on PC than it has been on Android, or certainly in my experience. That's how it feels anyway.
Can I ask a question about, have you tested this with online gaming on xCloud? How does that compare to single-player games?
No, not yet.
Nope.
I've literally, I only got access to it kind of last night, just after me and Duncan had done a bit of a pre-record.
Yep.
Obviously, it fires off and
really exciting.
Off it goes. It's really nice. For this game, you need to be online. Apparently, I'm not online. Something went wrong. There we go. There's nothing like a live demonstration to show you that these things are kind of, this is exactly why the service is in beta, because these sorts of things do go wrong.
Yeah.
I'll try and fire it up one more time just in case it does go
Duncan?
through.
I'm awesome, thank you. Yes. Again, I just want to say something here. This is just a broader point. This is me saying anything disparaging about other platforms, because all the platforms have their positives and negatives. The amount of games on here at this moment in time is over 200 games for £15. Is it £15 a month? I've got the all. Yeah, $15, £15 a month, and you've got access to all them games. And for an extra £5 to £10, you can get like a Xbox Series S or an Xbox Series X. What we do know, which has been announced this week as well, that the streaming is coming to console as well. And this is what I've been saying about the Xbox Series S. I think that is going to be the hybrid for people going forward with the Series X blades going into xCloud. And again, that has been confirmed as in testing as well.
Yeah.
So
Agree.
And just to say this, the software we're using at this moment in time on StreamYard, this is what we use for our show here, doesn't show the quality of this too well. It actually makes it look very, very janky. And if you watched last night, or what's last night, 2 nights ago on our Stadia stream, which everybody knows how F1 on Stadia runs, it runs smooth 60 FPS. It was looking really choppy as well. So the reason why the video is a bit choppy there is it's because of the software we're using.
Yes, indeed. And yes. I mean, I think the thing I would say as well is, in my experience with this, I would say that I've noticed that it's, as with all cloud platforms, and with it being in beta, it has kind of suffered a little bit of, at points, it suffered a couple of times where it kind of, get a little bit of artifacting. I'm just going to pick any car and just go for it, just so people can get an idea. It does suffer with a little bit of kind of artifacting visually, but I've not noticed any delay in terms of responsiveness for the controls. I'm just going to go back to the 3 dots up in the top corner. Obviously, you can mute your mic. You can enter full screen, which is nice. And then obviously just close off.
That is quite a nice feature to be able to just switch it in, switch it out, full screen.
Are you connected with Bluetooth?
I've got my Xbox controller connected via Bluetooth.
Yeah. So if it was wired, would it actually get less latency, do you think?
I've not really noticed any latency, if I'm honest.
Okay.
But, I mean,
that's great.
See there,
that's amazing. That's really cool. You know, I tried something with the Android version. I put bought this USB-C to USB to try to connect the controller wired to the Android, but it went just crazy. couldn't control it correct. But there's probably some way to make that perfect.
Give you a good crash.
But you're a nicer driver than I am.
You can that gives you an indication of kind of how it runs. As I say, there is a little bit of artifacting, but it is something that's in beta. And obviously we know, I think Duncan, as you touched on as well, they are also beefing up the server blades to Series X, which they're currently internally testing. So anybody who's on the beta, you're not playing on the new blades, as per kind of what Phil Spencer's kind of indicating. They're doing internal testing on that, so we're playing on the standard blades for xCloud.
And they're still rolling out to more people over time. So everyone will have a chance to try it out.
Yep. And then obviously, quit your game. As with most, you get to rate the experience if you want to, which I think with this is kind of really important to be able to kind of give feedback on kind of how your gaming sessions have been, especially whilst it's in beta and obviously kind of playing from the cloud. And as you see, go straight back to the menu, really quickly, everything you'd expect. So it's been a good start. It's kind of made a positive impact. You can kind of see that it is still, obviously, with it being in beta, a little bit rough around the edges and does need to do it. They need to do a bit of work on it, but we know they've got that in hand. We know it's coming, and it's kind of a complementary service to the rest of what you've got under the Xbox banner.
And I think actually it will change a lot when the server blades get an upgrade. I think that's one of the big things they're trying. When that's in place, I think that will help a lot out, because we're on last gen server blades, if I'm not correct. Yeah. So this will get much more better in a way. Anyone who wants to say something more about this?
I noticed.
It's awesome.
I noticed that the next day, playing it on my phone, it seemed better.
Yeah.
than it has been. I've noticed, like, a few times when I've played in the past, it'll have your little symbol in the top right-hand corner, top left-hand corner, telling you that your connection's not very good. I didn't get that at all yesterday when I was playing, and I played for a good 2 hours.
Yeah, that's something I also.
I was surprised at, because obviously they've deliberately said that, you know, there's no change whatsoever when it comes to the Cyberblades. So I was surprised that there was any difference, but there seemed to be. Now I don't know whether I'm making that up in my own head, but I don't know. Has anyone else experienced?
I have had less disconnection. I have had less disconnection. I felt that some games run better than other games. I feel some are better optimized than other in a way, but I have actually had to quit the games, not me get out the game in a way. You understand? I feel there's something, but that's probably also some firmware updates to optimize it better, and so I think this is really, and I'm really excited. Xbox, send us, give us now.
I'm looking forward to kind of having some more time with it and kind of giving it a little bit more of a, you know, I've not really had a tremendous amount of time, as I say, but I've had enough just to kind of have a little bit of a poke around, see how it's performing, and as I say, it's clear why it's in beta right now, but you know that with the upgrades coming, it will get better. But it's input wise, it was really responsive.
I'm just gonna ask one more thing. Have you had it wired when you tested it, or Wi-Fi?
I always, when I'm on my machine upstairs, always hardwired, and I've got a 1 gig internet connection.
Okay.
So kind of my speeds are really, really, you know, quick in that sense. So I don't have an issue with kind of cloud gaming at all, or kind of even when it comes to downloading titles, I don't really have an issue on that either.
No. Okay, but it is really, really exciting. Looking forward to get into that.
Yes.
And so what? There were some new games coming to games. I couldn't do how I could do with us showing, but I had this this one. So what do you guys think about this? These are exciting games.
Yeah, it's awful news again.
Terrible.
The standout obvious, or sorry, I'm going to say this, but maybe it isn't. The standout game there is the Show 21. Is without a doubt an absolute massive day one game, a $70 game on PlayStation, not a $60 game, which is the normal sort of price, a $70 game.
Yeah.
Dollar game there. The Two Fables, brilliant going there. Boosting out the library there. Second Instinct looks absolutely a load of fun. Absolutely. Yeah, it does. I think that could be a big game coming in the next couple of weeks, and Destroy All Humans, the remake. Brilliant.
Isn't that last one also a game I've seen before? Where is that?
Fogs has been on. It's already been on
Game Pass.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is. Yeah, I think it's just been pushed to the PC now as well.
Okay.
Okay. Are we going to talk about PC as well?
Yeah, go. We talk about everything.
Okay. The good news coming out this week as well for Game Pass for PC is this is more longer term sort of thing. Microsoft are changing their store. So they're going to be allowing other games on it, making it easier to get and load more games onto this, and it is going to be very, very interesting going forward. And the second thing about the PC games, Phil Spencer was out there again saying that xCloud support is going to be coming for PC games as well. So that is going to be great news, and I'm hoping this is going to open the doors for mouse and keyboard games for people to play that in their browser. Like games like Command and Conquer, which is I think that's on EA, part of the EA Access thing on xCloud or in Game Pass Ultimate. I think there's going to be lots of real big opportunities going forward, because how many people want to play the new Age of Empires? Imagine that, being able to play that on xCloud. Because that is not coming to console.
So yeah, the ability to do that would be absolutely bonkers. It'd be such a great grab, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
I think it's a good selection of games that they've got being added to that, to the lineup. And I think, I think as Duncan said, that the standout one for numerous reasons is MLB The Show 21. Which does. Again, I think similar to Andy in the ice hockey, and potentially maybe more so because we are kind of in the UK or in Europe, might not have been a game we'd necessarily have picked up. I know I certainly wouldn't have kind of put my hand in my pocket and spent the money on it. However, I've kind of, I've jumped into it. I've had a go. It's a good bit of fun. It takes a little bit of getting used to, just to understand kind of the controls, how it plays, and kind of how to, because obviously when it goes through the tutorial, similar to obviously NHL, I guess in that respect, it goes through how to bat, how to pitch, how to field, how to run, how to throw, all of those different things, so that you know and understand all of the mechanics that are kind of then maintained within the game. I've had a little blast on it. It was good fun.
Yes, I also yes. Sorry, Andy.
Was it interesting seeing the logo pop up at the beginning?
Yes, it feels a little bit surreal, if I'm honest. But
so
I'm just going to jump on what Barry was saying there. I am going to be trying out MLB, but I'm waiting for it until I get my access, which still hasn't come. I'm wondering if it's because I'm over here in this neck of the woods, because probabilities, I would say there would have been a good probability, like someone I knew or someone in our household would have got it, because we've got quite a number of these ones going, and none of us have it. I wonder if they're rolling it out in different regions just to make sure they're just trying to balance things out.
Possibly.
Yeah, I think so. I think they'll probably be trying to kind of hopefully evenly distribute across the kind of different server blade locations and whatnot to try and cope with the demand. Because I think, if you're Microsoft and you're pushing out access to playing Xbox games in the cloud through your internet browser or on your iPhone, that people are going to go nuts for it. We've already seen the uptake on it on the Android side, which has been available kind of obviously for quite a while. I think, when you push it out, especially when you cater to, Apple fans are massive in terms of, their hardware is everywhere. There's a lot of people in the mobile market that are that have got Apple devices, and that, they're chomping at the bit to kind of get into cloud gaming. So, and if they can do it with this, then it's going to go down a storm.
Well, I really hope that I'm also going to get, because I think there's a couple of data centers around Scandinavia actually for Microsoft. And I was hoping I was the only one who wants to get in Norway so they could bring it there. I'm the only one. No, and I heard also there was a major milestone at subscriber jumped to 23 million with this web browser, and that is just the start. And some also predict that's gonna, when Halo, the new Halo game, it probably go over 30 million subscribers. But the Game Pass, but that is just a prediction some made. But I don't see why not. They will get to that numbers. But anyone who wants to have any opinion on this?
Okay, I'll kick it off, and I think it will. I think it will depend if they get into the other markets, which they haven't been really strong in, or it is the big opportunities if they get into the Brazil. This is one we're talking about any of these sort of cloud services. If we're going to Brazil, into India, we do know that they're. I always get these mixed up when they go into Korea. See, that's the easy way out. And we know that they're working there. They're working with partners. If they get that out there and priced at an interesting price point, they could hit that 30 million easy.
Yeah.
If they get all the timings and get everything up and running. And Halo is coming out. Forza looks like it's coming out this year because they've already started testing. If you don't know, sorry, I know about all these things and I forget to say things. I'm forever doing this. If you want to get into the next Forza game, Forza Motorsport 8, it is now. Invites are going out for that now, where you can actually play. It's like it's in a beta sort of, or maybe an alpha. They're maybe calling it. But you can jump in and play the new Forza if you get into the waiting list. They're looking people to try.
Okay.
There is lots of opportunities here, and I just can't wait to see what is going to be announced going forward. And again, we've got a load of these rumors going about. We've had Battlefield 6 announcement this week, and there's a heavy rumor that is going day one into Game Pass for unknown reasons. They get this out here and into these markets. I can see the 30 million being not a bother to them. It's just if they can get it out there, and if they get the Series X stuff on top of this, the Series X plays into it as well, I think they're going to be rocking.
Yeah.
Well, I think Andy's going, Duncan, why did you tell me about all this stuff?
I didn't know about the beta. And don't tell Barry, he gets everything first.
No, he doesn't. I forgot about this.
You got the browser version. Now you're getting anyway. It's interesting that they do seem to be going for it when it comes to cloud, and well, obviously this is an Xbox show, but PlayStation are also seem to be pushing it as well. So it's going to be an interesting 6 months, I'd say. And in the next 6 months, we're going to see the two big players coming into the cloud service, which again, it's insane to think that the amount of games they've got between the two of them. Some of the others really are going to potentially struggle if they don't keep up.
I did see something also about the PlayStation, but when it's not the PlayStation show, but it is something they want to they say they want to compete with Xbox Game Pass, and there was something coming out today that the PlayStation Plus would have a movie plus, and people are struggling about this. And I just read something about it just before I went on here.
I think it's a brilliant idea. I really like that. The reason why I like that is because PlayStation are really trying to diversify their portfolio for the games, because they're making so many of these TV shows. We know the Uncharted movies coming out, the Last of Us TV shows coming out. I think it makes sense, and then they're just leveraging what they're strong in. They've got all their movies; they can just drop them onto there, because some of the movies on that are pretty good. With the other news about PlayStation Now again, the 1080, I think that's great. What are they using? They're using Azure, which is Microsoft's backend, so them using that's helping Microsoft at the same time, and they can both improve each other to actually push this tech forward. On the broader point between the PlayStation Now and Xbox, I think we're going to be coming down to subscription versus buy, and you can see the positives of both. And when PlayStation Now and Xbox allow buying, I think it's going to get even more murky. For me, I am a fan of the subscription model, because I think it opens up gaming for everybody. It is not for the people who can afford to put down the £40, £60 to get all these games. This just opens it up for everybody, and it is the true democratization of gaming. along with the cloud. It is bringing the barriers down to gaming, and I think that is the best thing going, because it's just going to open up the world of gaming to so many people. And I've talked about this before. I'm really excited about when the markets open up for Xbox in the different places and all the different companies, with the bringing down the cost of making games and playing games in these countries. That's going to inspire a whole brand new generation of people to play games who have maybe not played games before or played console style games before. And I'm just really excited on where that is going to bring us. And there's my big speech. Here endeth the speech.
I think we should just end it there.
I have to agree with Duncan, actually, because many in India, they are really looking at YouTube playthroughs because they can't afford buy a console or a PC to play most people. And they watch YouTube just to see the game in a way. And with cloud gaming, when then it's no brainer. Everyone can jump in and play some games. So I'm really, really excited for the future. And like we said before, it is the future of cloud gaming. It is the future of gaming. And yeah. So I want to talk about, yes, there's a quick thing. I also saw on YouTube, and there was a new Sea of Thieves event going on. It's starting today and will end on June. It's Reaper versus the World. I have not seen too much on it. Go check it out if you guys want to see what it's all about. But that's a totally new event. If any one of you guys know what it's all about, you can tell me. You guys know.
I've said this before, and I've got people in the chat have said this as well. They want to come and help me. When me and Kelly play Sea of Thieves, we go just looting and plundering. We haven't a skibby-doo what we're doing. We're just enjoying ourselves, just going up out there, blowing things up and getting murdered, and then stealing people's ships and stuff. I haven't a clue how to play Sea of Thieves.
No, it's quite a difficult game. But really enjoyable. It's quite hard when you are alone on a ship also, because you have to do everything on your own. It's quite difficult. So, yeah. So there is also 15 games coming with the FPS boost from EA this time around. And I don't have the list of games because I didn't plan this. It just came out today, this information. So... anyone? I think there was some Call of Duty. No, not Call of Duty. Blah, blah, blah. Battlefield games.
I'll let someone else speak, because I've been doing too much of this.
I can ask Barry.
Ask Andy.
Andy.
I'm just Googling it now, so come back to me.
Okay, Barry, do you know about it? You're just Googling. Basically, what has happened is EA and Xbox have teamed up here, and the interesting thing is a couple of the games have went to 60 FPS, but most of these games have actually went to 120 FPS on Xbox Series X, which is absolutely brilliant. And again, I think this is them just setting up the stall for what is to come down the line for xCloud and the cloud gaming, because as we know, frame rate matters, especially in cloud gaming, because as soon as you go to 30 FPS in cloud, it just sticks out like a sore thumb. So I think this is just preparing for it. I will shut up there because I think they've Googled now.
Yeah, so right. Well, I mean, the fountain of knowledge is just here. Like, I'm just gonna, list all the games that are coming. So there's 13 games. There's Battlefield 4, 1 and 5 all get 120 FPS. Mirror's Edge Catalyst gets 120 FPS. Plants vs Zombies, Garden Warfare 2, and Battle for the Neighborhood for Neighborhoodville, get 120 FPS. Star Wars Battlefront 1 and 2 get 120 FPS. Titanfall 1 and 2 get 120 FPS. Raven 120 FPS, and Sea of Solitude 60 FPS. There you go.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you, Andy. So this is exciting. This is going to be good for cloud gaming also, I believe, and when it comes down to streaming, I guess, when you get higher frame rate, FPS and like this, and the games. Duncan, what is it?
I'm just thinking of the grander picture here of what is going on in the wider scheme of things, and I'm just excited to see where this is going to bring us, because I want to hear about. I think we're going to hear a lot more about xCloud. I'm still calling it xCloud, and at E3 time, and I'm hoping we're going to hear that the Series X stuff is going to, firstly, get us. Just a 60 FPS, and then we're going to maybe hear they're planning the 4K, and then they're going to be planning the 120. As someone in Twitter said earlier, I forget who it was, Microsoft are putting these markers in the ground. We're going to have this, we're going to have that, we're going to do that, and they're hitting them. They haven't given the timescales, but they've just put the indications. We're going to put it out in the next couple of months. iOS support has came, browser support has came. We know some of the other markers they've got is buying games on xCloud, the Series X, and they were talking about it. I just want to hear more, and more.
Yeah, it is quite amazing time we're living, and it's going to be a lot. I'm really excited to get actually even more Xbox 360 games onto it. It's going to be really exciting what's coming up in a couple of, I think, in 2 weeks we'll see new games coming. So that's really exciting. Just one thing I was thinking about. Go back to what. Barry showed us earlier today. Do we think it would be good for Xbox to make a Wi-Fi Xbox controller to connect to PC? Or do you think it's enough with a Bluetooth controller if you want to have wireless? I don't know.
I think it's a good question.
Yeah, it should be. Anyone wants to think about this? I think it would be maybe smart, but I'm not that technical about it. But I'm gonna put Barry on the spot.
I'm gonna go out there. You disobeyed Andy. Andy was giving you the finger of direction then. I'm gonna go out on a limb here and say, from my experience so far, and from what I've kind of just by kind of the way that the controls have panned out to this point, be interesting to see, obviously when we get further down, how it does feel, but to be honest, I'm not 100% sure that they need it right now. The way it's performing, I don't necessarily feel like it's something that warrants them going out and saying, okay, we're going to do a controller which connects directly via Wi-Fi into the xCloud servers, and it will find your session that you're connected in and all that sort of stuff. I'm not convinced it's something they need to do right now, based on how they seem to have it working, and kind of, I'm just not convinced. Don't get me wrong, I could say that it could come a point where they do it and they kind of put forward something with regards to trying to work on whether it be negative latency or something, and that's how they achieve it. But right now, I'm not sure that it's something that they need to put a focus on. I think they need to concentrate on perfecting what they've got in terms of the platform, how it plays, kind of the graphical quality, the fidelity, the smoothness, frame rates, all that sort of stuff, before they have to go to the nth degree and say, well, actually, right, we're going to throw a Wi-Fi controller in now. The one thing that will potentially kind of it ought to be dependable on, I should say, is whether or not they come out with this stick. I know there's a lot of talk about this xCloud stick as to whether they might come out with something that goes straight into the your HDMI socket on the TV. It's difficult to see whether there would even be a need for it then if they manage to sneak Bluetooth on board there. But nevertheless, I think it's not right now. Maybe later on down the road.
Yeah. Okay. Anyone else any opinion on this also, or shall we go down? Andy, Andy.
Okay, I don't think they need it.
Oh.
I really don't. And there's a few different reasons, and I think mainly for the fact that the new controller switches between the PC and the Xbox and your Android phone by the double tap of that button. And I haven't noticed a reason that they'd need it for latency wise while playing xCloud on the phone. I just, the only way I can see it is like Barry says about the stick that has been rumored. I honestly don't think we'll see that. I think the Xbox Series S is the dongle, the stick. I think they still want a presence in the house. I think most people like to show off their consoles. They have them, a pride of joy on next to your TV. You have it so people can come in and go, oh wow, he's got an Xbox Series X or Series S. But can we play it? That kind of thing. Like it's, and I think that's where potentially others have maybe gone a little bit wrong in the fact that they don't have the symbol, the thing to look at. So I don't think they need either.
Duncan, do you have any opinion on this?
Okay, you're going to laugh again. I just got too many things going round in my head. A couple of weeks, or it might have been a couple of months ago, there was talk Microsoft were looking to redesign their controller anyway before this Wi-Fi thing. So what I think they're wanting to do is what with the PlayStation controllers got a bit of the haptic feedback into it. So I think they were looking indications in that. So getting Wi-Fi onto it, I don't think it's going to be anytime close, but I think we may see it, and maybe something a couple of years down the line, and they're going to add the Rumble stuff into it as well, or the haptic feedback, and do a bit of a redesign that way. But I don't think we're going to see anything with Wi-Fi imminently. With the Andy was talking about the streaming stick. Wasn't you the streaming stick you were saying there, Andy? My head's like I said.
Yeah.
We may see something along them lines, but I think it's be a bit too early, and I don't think they would want to mess the market up too much to start off with, because the new Xboxes have just been released, and I don't think they will want to mess about with the controller for at least a couple of years.
Yeah, I really think because there's not that many. Many has high-end TV with great with all these apps you can add on, but many countries in the world they have not that option, and maybe have all the TV. So it would be easier to just plug a dongle into the TV and just play. And I think maybe a year or two, maybe they will do it just to get into the market, and they can get even more to play on because not everyone wants to play on have a laptop. They have maybe a TV, and they can put this into your TV and start playing because they can't afford a laptop, but they can't afford maybe they don't have have a phone in that way. Just give all sorts of options. I really hope there will be coming something like that. Do I see it coming soon? No, I don't think it's going to come soon. So yeah, we'll have to see on that. I also really hope, and I was going to ask you guys about this, about things you want to see onto xCloud. And for me, it is rumble shocks. Like you can feel the controller in a way when you start playing, and you have the in a way. Anything you guys want to see onto xCloud to come? Done. Whatever you would like to see, your dream, your vision of xCloud.
It's a tough one, and I think it's probably going to go out on a limb and say it's probably an inevitability, but it would be nice to see them with the way they're making their moves with the consoles in terms of kind of pushing that 4K 120 FPS and beyond. it would be good to, in a long-term scale, and this would be long-term, get it to a point where the cloud variant of Xbox is a very similar experience to what you would get on your console. So and that's what, for me, that's what I'd like to say, as close an experience to the console as possible, with the right sort of frame rates, not having to kind of have developers question or wonder whether it's something that's going to be, is it going to be 30? Is it going to be 60? I kind of really want that to kind of disappear. I want 60 to kind of be the minimum that we see in the cloud and beyond, and hopefully kind of push resolution as well, so that you can then find, well, actually, do you know what? My console's at home. I've got internet access. I've got my phone, or I've got my, my MacBook or whatever. I can just log into the browser, or I can load the app and off I go, and have that kind of same experience, because it is something that I think, as much as kind of for Xbox, it's important, and it is an add-on to the console. Clearly, the console is, those two consoles they've got is their core market. Then they've obviously got their subscription in Game Pass, and then, cloud is that kind of add-on, that supplement to what they've got. You kind of want it to be one of those things where it becomes normality. Well, actually, I've got an Xbox subscription, and I can play on my browser, play on my phone, and I can play on my console, and my experience is no different. And that, for me, would be the kind of the goal.
Andy?
I don't know. do you know why I don't know? Because the surprise, and it's just.
It's hard. It's a hard question.
Yeah, where they've in the last 3 months, where it's gone, like. It's just insane to think where we could possibly be in another year, and what I would want. I do think it'd be cool to have, instead of maybe the dongle, why not just straight in smart TV integration, or integration into Apple TV, or integration into all the services that are already there with apps available. Just stick Game Pass on as an app. That'd be cool.
Yeah,
that could, and instead of you having to buy more hardware, because I think they want you to buy the Series S and X, really, and it almost, if you sign up to Game Pass and you don't have those things, it almost makes you want to go out and buy them, which is clever.
Yeah, I think they want us to buy Xboxes. I think that's the main focus right now. But I have a strong feeling that down the road we will not see any console. We will see just cloud in a way. That's something. Where did Duncan go? He disappeared. Okay,
he's had enough.
He has enough.
I can't go with the idea.
So can we just talk about they talked about Discord turned down the offer for $12 million to buy Microsoft offer to buy Discord. Was this a smart move, or was this? What do you guys think about this? Is this just a great, or is it? Duncan, do you have anything you want to say about this?
I think Discord have just wanted more money. I think they've seen that they maybe were a bit undervalued for, was it 10 or 12 billion?
That's mind-blowing.
Yes. But I just don't understand it, basically. I think, personally, I know it's just me just talking out from my rear end. I think 12 billion for Discord seems a hell of a lot of money for what it is. But I know nothing about these sort of things. But I think it's more the user base and just building it in. But I'm not. I don't really. I think the 12 billion could maybe be spent better places. possibly. The more interesting acquisition that Microsoft has picked up is the AI tech, which is picked up for the speech recognition. That Windows Central put a bit of an article out today on how it could actually be implemented into gaming as well, and using Azure. So there could be a bit of your NPCs are a bit more interactive and such like. So
Nice.
there's that sort of thing. But yeah, it's very, very interesting that they've turned it down. But if you actually read the wording of it, I think if they're going to sell to someone, I think they're going to sell to Microsoft.
Yeah. They might go back in a way. We don't know. Anyone else have any view on this?
No, not really. No massive opinion on it. It is what it is. Like Duncan says, they probably want more money for it, and if they're really interested in actually selling it, I don't even know if they are. It's a clever tactic to get more money, isn't it? If they do, I don't really know why they'd need it.
Playing hard to get.
Yeah. No, I mean I don't know why Microsoft would need it really. I can see advantages, but I don't know.
I think Microsoft just have so much money, they just wanted to go out shopping a little bit now.
I want them to go and buy more game companies.
They can come and shop something in my house if they want to.
They can buy me.
Barry, you want to say something?
Yeah. I was just gonna say, I think, I think when the news initially broke, there was a kind of 50-50. Is it acquisition or is it a public float? And I think, for me, I kind of feel a little bit like, Kelly's just said in the chat, Microsoft want to take over the world. I think it's kind of one of those things that Microsoft want to be at the front of the queue. If there's an opportunity for Discord to be snapped up, Microsoft want to be the one to do it. God knows how many requests they get for proper Discord integration into Xbox. So, it would certainly be something that could silence it. But I think potentially from the Discord perspective, it was a good fishing expedition to kind of see exactly what they can get. Now, by walking away from the table, they've kind of obviously seized control of the negotiation. So they know that Microsoft are willing to put 12, which has already gone up from the rumored supposed 10. So we're talking a 2 billion gap. Is there a bigger gap that they want bridged? If they have, what have Discord just done? They've got up and said, well, do you know what? We don't need to sell. We're prepared to walk away. If 12 is your final offer, then fine. We'll shake hands. We'll go our separate ways, and we'll go and see what the options are. Meanwhile, back at Discord HQ, they'll be consulting with their financial analysts, trying to run calculations and work out how much they're likely to get if they stick it public. Where does that stick against the 12 billion? Then becomes the decision. Do we go back to the negotiation table and say, well, actually, do you know what? If we floated, we'd get 16. So why don't we settle on 14? And then we'll call it a deal. And I think that's probably the way it's either going to pan out. You're either going to see a deal at a couple of billion more, or you're going to see them go public.
Yeah, very great point there. That's a good point. I also think that's something that I think will happen. But I would run with the money, but I'm not a businessman like that. So but it's so crazy. How much did they pay for Bethesda? Was it 7 billion?
7.5, I think. Yeah.
And now Discord for 12 billion.
And just remember, they were trying to buy TikTok for 40 billion or 50 billion or something. So they've definitely got the money in the back skyrocket. Okay.
All you need to do is look at their Q2 revenue again. It's it's continually going up and up and up. So it is to a point. They've got a lot of play money. I mean, a lot of people would say, well, they've got a lot to lose, but actually, they've got to that point now where they've got a lot of money to play with, where they can actually seriously, in my opinion, start thinking about how they can make a difference and I don't want to be harsh because I know that comment sounds harsh because they have had an impact in gaming, but when you have that kind of play money and you've got the kind of heads that you've got around that table, in your HQ, what can you then go and do that actually makes a real difference or starts a real change within gaming? And that's the thing you kind of need to look out in. And as Duncan said, that Microsoft's acquisition of, the AI technology, they are some of the areas where they kind of need to be looking. How can they change it? How can they revolutionize it? How can they keep it fresh? How can they keep it new? How can they bring you a different experience, but still make it feel the same so that you kind of don't go, oh, I don't like that. That's new. I don't want to change. They're all the kind of things they've probably got to be going through.
Yeah.
And they have also money like Minecraft money just milking all the time. So in the back end there, everyone has. So there's a lot of stuff going on. And guys, we have also Xbox remove online barrier to free-to-play games. That is a great thing. I'm really happy for that. So have any of you played any of these games today? I tried a little bit Call of Duty Warzone, but that was also exciting. So anyone have any opinion on everyone's happy about this, or not everyone is happy about this?
It's a great thing, isn't it? It is really good, but I already have Game Pass. I don't see the advantage, but I can see the other people, if they buy a Series S just to play Rocket League, then fantastic. That's all you have to pay for. You don't have to pay for anything else. It's great. It's a win-win. They should have been free to play all this time. Really, it would have made a lot more sense. Just like a lot of games anyway. Like Fortnite makes a large amount of money from being free.
It is great. It is really good. So, anything else you guys want to talk about today?
I'm awesome.
You're awesome. That's good. And Barry, you want to say something, or
no?
I feel like a teacher. You want to say something? You want to say something?
No, Mr. Happy.
That's good. Okay, guys. Shall we say goodbye to the people?
Goodbye, people.
I think it's a good time to wrap it
Goodbye.
up. Goodbye.